All right, so let's round things out with the rumor mill. This week in rumors, we have the Dazzler rumor for Deadpool just won't go away and actually kind of reached a peak this week. We also have Halo on the PlayStation 5 and other gaming drama, plus the Power Rangers head in a new direction, apparently.
Hey. It's classified.
Hello, nerds, and welcome to the Rumor Mill. You have found the appropriate cheat code to get to the news before it becomes news. Here, we will discuss rumors in the pop culture and nerdy realm of things. Then we will discuss the probability that those rumors are legitimate. And then finally, probably a little bit of my own personal speculation. If you want the more concrete news that has already become news, then there is a full news show over on the main channel called The Week in Nerddom, which you can find linked down in the description as well as at the end of this video. Now, let's see what all of those rumor mongers have to say and which of them are just plain full of poop.
All right, let's start things off with confirmations and refutations. We have a little bit of both, actually. First up, we have a confirmation for the Doom Dark Ages game. We talked about how it was rumored to be coming out. It was actually rumored to be announced at the Xbox Game Showcase, and it was announced at the Xbox Game Showcase, so I'm pretty sure we gave that a pretty high likelihood, but that one was an easy one to guess at. And then we have a refutation, and this one's going to drive some people mad for two different reasons. The first one is, or the actual refutation here is that no, Taylor Swift will not be in the Deadpool movie as Dazzler. She is not going to be playing Dazzler in the Deadpool movie. She is also very likely not going to be in the Deadpool movie at all. If Dazzler's in the Deadpool movie, it's going to be played by somebody else. So it's going to drive people crazy because it's a mention of Taylor Swift, so there's definitely a swath of people who, if you even say her name, are just like, just seriously enough already. And then also the people who are the opposite side of that, who are just going to be heartbroken because Taylor Swift's not going to be in a movie. So yeah, that's what we got for confirmation and refutations. We have no new sources. We do, though, have a few new rumors to go over. So let's talk about those. It looks like we have mostly gaming rumors this week. First up is Rocksteady Studios. We have word that Warner Brothers is very possibly going to be shuttering the fan favorite studio. A big part of the very large contributing factor, I guess I'm trying to say, is the failure of the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Warner Brothers has confirmed that that is a key element in the $200 million loss that they had last quarter. So it seems like there's some volition to this. It's from a pretty solid source. Most of my gaming rumors come from sources who are rarely wrong, and this is one of them. And also, we know that they've been underperforming recently. They have not contributed in a positive way to the business of Sony, or of Warner Brothers rather. And so, yeah, we're putting this one at about 65% likely, and that's a little bit of a low number because, like I said, Warner Brothers has already told us they're not doing as well as expected. This would not be the first gaming studio that was shuttered for that exact reason, for not even a very long list of failures, but a very short list of failures. So I should probably go higher, but this 65 is just to make myself feel a little bit better about this whole situation. Our next rumor has to do with Halo. This one's actually been floating around the rumor mill for some time, but there's a little bit of new development to the rumor, so we're talking about it for the first time here on the channel. So Halo is, in fact, getting an upgrade. We will be seeing Combat Evolved built in the Unreal Engine 5. That is happening. That has been confirmed. The rumor portion of this, and that's actually the new part of it, that's been confirmed. So the rumor portion of this is that they're going to be taking Halo Combat Evolved once they have this upgrade version and bringing it over to the Sony platform, PlayStation 5. So, oh man, in a world where Microsoft is seemingly doing everything they can to get as wide of an audience as they can, that kind of lends itself to this. We've already seen them port over some formerly exclusive Xbox titles, but they were all fairly minor, less significant titles. There's also the element of why else would we just got an upgraded version? We got the 20-year anniversary edition of Combat Evolved, and that's what's in the Master Chief collection. And so why would we be getting another upgraded version if it wasn't because they were crossing platforms? Is the strongest argument I've heard on the negative side of this, but I don't know, it feels like there's a larger conversation to be had here, in that gaming exclusivity is kind of slowly dying. I mean, Linus just did a video, it was about a month ago, maybe a little bit more than a month ago, where they're trying to give a tier list for gaming consoles, and when they got into the more modern consoles, they're all so similar, all being the two of them. They're so similar to each other, as well as to lower end to mid-grade PCs, that it's hard to delineate the differences. So in that world, and also, you take a look at format wars in the past, where it was the media format and not the actual player that came into question. It feels like we are heading in a direction. I don't think we're going in a direction where we're going to be sans console. I think it's going to be quite a while before we're getting physical media just completely eradicated. I think there's too much of a collector economy, too much of a fan base for them to completely get rid of physical media. Physical media will be further and farther between, but it won't be completely dead for quite some time, if ever. But that physical media, it would seem we're heading in a direction that you'll be able to take a disc and put it into any player in a similar fashion as we got with PCs, because there are how many PC manufacturers out there, and you can take a disc for a game and put it in any one of those manufacturers' PC, so long as it's not Apple, and play your game. So very possibly we're heading in that same direction with consoles. You'll have a Sony console or a Microsoft console, but there's not going to be anything exclusive one way or the other, and actually you'll be able to take that physical media, be it disc or memory card or what have you, you'll be able to take that physical media and put it in either console and it will work. I think that's more the direction that we're going to be headed, so long as Microsoft can convince Sony that that's going to be mutually beneficial, which I don't think it's going to be as hard as some people think it might be. So all of that being said, will they bring Halo to the PlayStation? I think right now that is not going to be a thing. I think right now, even though we do have plenty of reasons that it could go one way or the other, I think it's slightly more likely to go in that console exclusives still make money in that they move consoles. So Microsoft is going to hold on to a few exclusives. Halo is the biggest franchise they have. So because of that reason, and honestly, primarily that reason, we're going 40% likely that we will be seeing Halo Combat Evolved on the PlayStation 5. Now, 5 years down the road, will we see them open up new Halo titles to cross-platform in the eventuality that we see a console that will play anything? Yeah, I think that's within the realm of possibility. But right now, I don't think so. All right, so spend way too much on that one. Let's move right along. Our next one is not gaming related. It is actually Power Rangers related. So we've talked previously in the TV section about the Power Rangers series that is coming to Netflix, or was coming to Netflix. Well, now apparently it has been canceled. Hasbro has canceled the contract with Netflix, whatever state that was in, because they want to go in a different creative direction according to the rumor, with a different creative partner. So real quick, TLDR, in case you don't remember, this was supposed to be an Elseworlds, quote unquote, style story. This was going to be something that takes place in like a tangential universe that does not affect the main Power Rangers plotline that's going on for the Saban show. It does not affect any of those stories. It's going to be a story unto itself. We have seen Netflix's originals and Netflix's adaptations recently kind of start to dwindle in that they don't have the same returns that they once did. So I think there's a fair, strong argument. I don't think there's much saying that this won't be happening. There's a fair amount saying that this is very likely. Once we get the announcement, which I think is only a matter of time at this point, we can confirm it. But until that point, I'm going to say about 85% likely that Hasbro has told Netflix to kick rocks and they're going in a different direction for this Power Rangers live action series. So we have one last trailer to deal with, and it is Spaceballs. Apparently there is a sequel to Spaceballs in the works, and the sequel is going to be written by Josh Gad. Josh Gad is actually the reason why there is speculation here, because he's the one who's feeding the speculation on his social medias. He posted a title page for a script he has been working on with friends. I forget exactly who the friends are, but they're irrelevant to the rumor, in that Josh Gad's the biggest one that most people are going to know. So it looks like where they scribbled it out, it looks like you can read characters inspired by Mel Brooks, and then something about Spaceballs, yada, yada, yada. Hopefully, if you're watching the episode right now, you're seeing it on your screen. But yeah, that's the biggest clue that we have. He alluded to something that was Star Wars adjacent in an interview about a little over a year ago now, I think. So it's all based on what Josh Gad has to say. Josh Gad is a Star Wars fan, so it would not be surprising if he was working on the next lampoon of Star Wars. Is it going to be Spaceballs? Is it going to come with the blessing of Mel Brooks and the Brooks estate? That, I think, is the part that is the biggest in question. And because of that, I'm going to say we're looking at about 50% likely that this is... So it could go either way. There's enough kind of to go on that it's kind of right in that fence. So that's what we got for the regular rumors. There is one more subsection here, and that is speculation. There is one big piece of speculation I wanted to talk about. It's another kind of fad that we're seeing in entertainment these days. I mentioned it briefly in the gaming section because it has to do with Gears of War E-Day. My speculation here is that Marcus and Dom, on screen together again, the way that they're playing it in that trailer, it really feels like this is going to be a bait and switch. Because Emergence Day in the main story of Gears of War, sorry, brain fart. In the main story of Gears of War, we're past Emergence Day. By a long shot, we're past Emergence Day. And also, I'm pretty sure one of, if not both of those characters is dead in the main universe. So, because of that, yes, this could be a prequel through and through, and this could revolve around how Marcus and Dom, became buddies and whatnot and what have you, but... I really feel like, then this is my speculation, I really feel like we're going to be seeing a bait and switch from this, because these are the characters that everyone who likes this franchise have really glommed onto. They've really put a lot of emphasis on these characters. The fan base has, and so since they weren't, I'm pretty sure it was only just the last game that they weren't in at all, and the last game didn't do as well. So this time around, they're going to tease us with Marcus and Dom, and then we're going to see someone die, or we're going to update to modern times, or something along those lines. We're going to go past the point that they left off in the last game, and we're going to get past that point of Emergence Day, and it's going to be a different protagonist. You're going to play as somebody else. I mean, I would say it's probably going to be a female protagonist, but again, last game they kind of did that already, so that wouldn't be as shocking as just the bait and switch that they're trying to do, which this wouldn't be the first time in modern storytelling and such that they've done this. I mean, see Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, there was another one that just happened that I'm totally blanking right now. Oh, the He-Man one, duh. The He-Man situation, the first season of Kevin Smith's He-Man show on Netflix, that happened as well. And then there's a couple other less noteworthy elements or examples of that happening. So that's my big speculation. I think we're going to see Gears of War E-Day be a bait and switch as far as who the playable protagonist is. And that brings us to the end of the rumor mill, nerds.
That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.